tragedy is a family of 4 who survived the nightmare. Dean Ananias, did I get that correctly?
Yes,
Ananias, correct. Thank you, guys. And his wife, Georgia, along with their daughters, Valerie and Cindy. Dean, you're a Navy man, yes?
Yes, I was in the Navy.
Take us through what happened and what went wrong and what you observed and how you ended up surviving. And let me just say, for my friends at home, that these are some of the last people off the ship you're talking to here today. Well,
we were at dinner, and so it was about 9:15, and all of a sudden, the ship, we're in the back of the ship, the dining room is, and lower level, about the 3rd deck, and the screws, or in other words, the propellers, it seemed to be vibrating. The shafts, you could hear them, and that happens every once in a while where you're in port.
On a boat, right.
Yeah, in a boat, and if you've been on, and you know what I'm talking about.
This was more than that. This is more than usual vibration.
It started fine, and all of a sudden, it got more violent, and the whole room started vibrating it. So,
my understanding that people kind of flew around. There were people, you know, sort of running for cover. I mean, it was enough of a violent jolt. You're saying yes, Valerie, yes?
Absolutely.
What happened?
It was terrifying. What originally happened is, like my father was saying, I just thought, well, it's the engine, sometimes this happens, it's totally normal. But then when you're sitting at dinner and you have glasses of water in front of you, you have food in front of you, everything just went at a tilt. And when I felt that, I knew this isn't good.
So let me add to this, too, that when the vibrating went, all of a sudden I was sitting there looking at my glass, and the water started going to one side, and I said, he's doing more than just trying to back down, because usually you got to put these in reverse to stop. You can't put no brakes in the ship. He's trying to go in reverse to stop. And what happened is it seemed like he was turning, and it was a hard turn. I was just thinking, there's something more that's going on.
Did you go up on deck at that point?
No. What actually happened is it was a dining room 2-level, and what it started happening is with all the shaking and the moving, then debris just started flying, and we were under, and so we tried to pull people closer to us to protect them, but the pandemonium just started. It was horrible, and people were slipping and falling.
So is this the point at which the boat tipped over, or is this the point at which it hit? Okay, so it hits at that. We're going to talk in the next segment about, you know, the trajectory the boat took after it hit. Why didn't he stop the boat right then? He knew he'd taken a hit, and let the lifeboats down, have everyone go to shore. Exactly. They'd just been you'd been at sea 2 hours, right?
Absolutely. Right. Exactly.
Wouldn't that have been the right thing to do?
Definitely.
The perfect thing to do.
But what happened? He just kept going?
Well, what they told us was, and this was after several minutes, they finally got on in different languages and said it's an electrical problem. And anybody with the right mind knows this is not just an electrical problem. They said, we're fixing it, everyone's going to be fine, you can go back to your cabin. But it obviously was not an electrical problem.
Did people go back to the cabins that were filling with water at that point? Because now, at least 1/3 of the ship, the cabins are underwater. Is that, do you think somebody went downstairs into their cabins and found their room filling with water?
I know that for us, we were outside, once we went outside on deck after we left the dining room, everybody had life jackets on, and we were the only ones that didn't have life jackets. So we ran to our parents' room. It wasn't underwater yet or anything, but it was starting to tilt, and we ran into our stateroom to just try to grab our life jackets because we were the only ones that weren't wearing life jackets.
And you saw there was all that chaos we saw out on the deck. Now, you guys, this is television, so we only have 3 minutes. I could talk to you guys all day. Once people started unloading the lifeboats and getting off the ship, why didn't you guys get off the ship at that point? How did you end up being the last people on the ship? Valerie?
Well, we originally, Dr. Drew, we had the opportunity eventually to get on a lifeboat. But I kept telling my parents and I kept telling everybody else, we need to go. The time is of the essence. We need to get on this as soon as possible because it continued to tilt. What happened was when we finally got on the lifeboat, it took several minutes to get everybody on. People are screaming and crying. They had us count. And then what had happened is it had tilted too much at that point, so it was going to go at an angle, and if it would have went down, we would have slid down the side of the ship and wouldn't have made it because it wasn't leveled.
So everybody got out of that lifeboat back on the deck. My understanding is you guys helped people off the ship till almost the very end. Is that true?
Yes.
Including a little baby. Can you tell me that story, Valerie? Or Mom?
And many times, as it was tilting, we were with a family on the lifeboat, and they had a little 3-year-old, and we were climbing against gravity to get up there. And when we did as a team, we got up there.
You stayed together.
We stayed a team. We pulled each other up. Then what we did is this family, all of a sudden, because we had met on the lifeboat, the father turned to me and said, "Take my baby." Take my baby.
Because they thought they were going to die.
Yeah.
But you guys thought you were going to die too.
Yeah, so I held the baby, And then as the gravity was pushing, it was pulling me, and we were on top of a stairwell. And I knew that eventually the baby would just fall out and fall down the stairwell.
Oh.
So
I had the baby back.
I said, you have to take your baby back. And I don't know where they are.
Presumably they're part of this. Valerie, you look stricken by that. That was a tough moment.
I'm absolutely distraught. I really, really pray and hope. My thing was to get the children off the boat.
And you actually did stay and help get children off the boat. You were some of the last people off the boat. I mean, that's incredible. I mean,
yeah.
All right, I have to read a statement from the Carnival Cruise Line. They put out a statement today that reads, "We are deeply saddened by this tragic event, and our hearts go out to everyone affected by the grounding of the Costa Concordia, and especially to the families and loved ones of those who lost their lives." Georgia, it gives a little bit of comfort, but we're going to talk a little bit in the next segment about what people can do to prevent this kind of thing. I know that's one of the reasons you're here tonight, is to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. I guess the closing question, it's hard to paint the picture of this hair-raising story. I mean, this is a life-changing experience for you guys. You'll never be the same because of this. Right. And you're all shaking your head. Yes. Will you go on a cruise again?
I personally, we all made a pact that we would not go on a cruise until there are changes in what's going on with the cruise line. There was no leadership. There was no direction. A lot of lives were lost because there wasn't any help, and things need to change on cruise lines.
Well, that was my point, too. Whenever I got on a cruise ship, I know where a muster station is and how to put a life jacket on, but how often is it going to be that you have a nice orderly situation like that? I have to go to break. We're going to talk more about it, guys, and we actually have an expert coming in, a U.S. Coast Guard